I'm going to show you what I do to optimise this Toro Timemaster for professional use. It out of the box it didn't come very well set up. I think more so a problem from factory as opposed to technicians setting it up. But first thing you want to do, get your blades sharp anyway. I normally sharpen new blades because, believe it or not, they don't come sharp. You might be lucky and a new blade might be relatively sharp, but I like to give them a quick sharpen up. Next thing I do is check the engine RPM. This one was seriously low, and I mean seriously low. I think it was 2200, which is ridiculous. So yeah, ideally if you've got a tachometer, use one of those and set it. I'll show you how to do that in a bit. And then next thing to do, get your cover off and check all your belts, make sure they're all tensioned correctly, because again my blade engagement belt, that was too loose. It was bogging the machine down. When you cut any sort of thick grass or anything like that, it was bogging down, so that's another thing to do. Another thing you can do as well, change your O-ring on your cap so it doesn't leak, because if you tip the mower back with the old blue O-ring, it leaks. So luckily enough I've got a O-ring kit I can just swap out, so change the O-ring so it doesn't leak when I tip it back now. And I'm undecided whether I'm going to pull this blue filter out or not. I know some people have pulled it out. It's a pain in the ass having it in there. I'm not ideally sure what the purpose is for it in there, but I'll probably end up pulling it out because it is a pain filling up with that. And yes, this fuel tank is very small. It really needs a bigger one. And also you can change your recoil just under your bolts and make that so it's not coming back. I quite like it like that, so I can stand behind it and just pull it up towards the handle. But if you wanted it so it recoils out the side, you can just undo these and switch it around. This Toro Timemaster with a 1000 series engine, 225cc I think, something like that. Just showing how to adjust the RPMs on this engine. There's a tab in there which is got the spring on it for the governor. These two are 10mm. The little small one on the side is 8mm. And you don't even need to really take it off, you just need to be able to get some pliers on this spring. Right, so now you've got access to this little tab here. If you bend this tab towards you, it increases the RPM. If you bend it away from you, it decreases them. Puts more tension on the spring when you pull it towards you. And when I got this from factory, it was seriously low. I think it was 2200 RPM, which I checked with a tachometer, and that's seriously low. When I was side discharging, it was just kind of falling out the edge as opposed to being discharged. So what you need to do is get some pliers and then just give this tab a little tweak, and it's good to do it actually when the engine's on. bend that tab forward a bit, push the RPMs. If you haven't got a tack, go careful. Ideally find someone with a tack to just double check it. I set mine around 3200. It's you don't lose too much torque, and it's getting the blade spinning quick enough. But yeah, you don't want it screaming. So yeah, now to get this belt and pulley cover off. One there, one there, one there, one at the back there. 3/8 size socket fits. You can use a 10mm, but it is a bit sloppy in there, so 3/8 socket is the right size. Get all those undone. So that just cover lifts out, slides off. So you need to take it off every now and then, get all this stuff cleaned out. And the belt that's the most problematic one here, for lack of power or lack of it not cutting well, bogging down, is this top one here, which is your belt, your blade belt tensioner, which is that one there, and this is your blade engagement cable. And what you need to do for this one is, what I do is I clamp the handle down. So get a clamp and clamp the blade engagement handle so that I can see how much tension's on the belt. I'll just do that. So I've just clamped off the handle, and then what I do is I just check the tension of this belt, and if it feels a bit loose, then you need to tighten it up. I'll show you how to do that now. So I've released the handle so there's no tension on the belt. And just undo this nut here. Again, it's 3/8 screw. And what you need to do is pull the cable back towards you. Just pull it back and hold it, and then do it up again. I'm not sure what's going on with this, why there's a hole here. If anyone knows how it's actually supposed to be, because it looks like a bit of a pointless thing having that there. It looks like it needs to come up through it or down, I don't know, but it looks a bit odd. Check your tension again. Right, so I've gone and clamped the handle on again, and then just check the tension in your belt. That feels a lot better, a lot tighter. There should be less play in it. And you can just spin the belts by hand just to check your belt as well at the same time, just make sure you haven't got no rips in it or tears in it. And you don't want it too tight, because you'll put pressure on the bearings and the spindles and stuff, so that feels quite good. So yeah, again, you just slacken off this nut and pull this cable towards you. All this does is just clamp down and hold this cable in position. So yeah, that's all you need to do. This was one of the biggest things when I first bought this machine. This was way too slack. The belt was just far too slack, and it was just you know, bogging down in grass. Not even thick grass, it was just bogging down. So one of the first things I did was come in here, have a look at it and adjust this, and the difference it cut was unbelievable. Another thing to mention with the blade cable is if you go too tight, your blades will start spinning when your engine's idling, so be aware of that. It's one way to know if you've over tightened it. Check the timing belt as well. Obviously underneath, make sure your blades are one's horizontal, the other one's vertical, so they don't touch each other. But how to set the tension on this belt: this little front plate here, it's like a sprung bracket, so it's there's supposed to be a little gap in behind there. It's supposed to be 0.25 mil or 10,000ths of an inch. So if you've got a feeler gauge, it's supposed to be, mine's a little bit sloppy, but checking my belt, that's plenty tight enough. You don't have to always go by what they say, but yeah, you don't want it over tight because you'll sorry about the wind, these you'll put pressure on these pulleys and these fail. They're not the best ones either. You can get the upgraded ones, so if ever they do fail, don't get these ones, get the upgraded ones, which I'll be doing if these go. So yeah, how you adjust this is there's a bolt there which you need to slacken off, and then what you need to do is get a spanner on there and a socket on there, and then wind it in, and which will bring this whole plate and your back pulley this way, which will then put more tension on the belt. So yeah, what you would do is you slacken off the deck bolt, and then it's a half inch socket. Again, half inch there. Then you'll wind that in. Another little tip as well is get yourself a little bungee. I've got a little tiny one which I can just hook onto the exhaust cage here. So yeah, you just literally get the bungee in, hook it onto that, and you can change the position on the cage to make it less high up. You know, if you want to be a bit safer, because to be fair, the side discharge chute is not bad that comes with this, but if you're doing long grass and stuff like that, it gets clogged up. So yeah, always be careful when you've got the chute up like this, or when you're side discharging. You don't want to be smashing windows or whatever with God knows what. But yeah, just another little tip there. Another thing I forgot to mention with the Toro Timemaster, Toro provides two types of blades. They look pretty much identical, but one's a high lift and one's a slightly lower lift. This is the high lift version. That's the number there on it. So make sure you get the right blade for what you're doing. You know, if you're mulching, then the slightly lower lift might be slightly better, but I'd still be tempted to get the high lift blade, to be honest. This one does a good job. The only problem I've got with these blades is they are seriously not durable. Whether my original set that's still on the machine is got a bit of a bad one, but these blades aren't tough enough in my opinion. They nick far too easily. So I'll be probably, once this set is done, I'll be going on to the I think it's copperhead blades. I think you can get. There's not too many options here in the UK for blades for the Toros. If anyone knows of any blades, please let me know. But as far as I'm aware, it's the two Toro blades, the copperhead blades, and that's most of our choices. It'd be good if they just did a dedicated high lift blade without the gator style or whatever Toro calls it. If anybody knows of one of them, please let me know. But yeah, I'm not too impressed with these blades. The durability is not good. But I say that just could be a bad first batch, and this blade might be a bit better, so we'll see. But yeah, it's just something to think about. I'd normally lean towards a higher lift version personally, but yeah, have to see what works for you. So yeah, I hope that all helps with the Toro, get it all working better and more efficient. So yeah, the main points, like I say, was the engine RPMs, get all your belts tensioned, and obviously the correct blade for whatever you're doing, and make sure it's sharp. Those are pretty much the three main things you need to do to get the performance up, so to speak. So yeah, I hope that helps, and again, if anyone's got any more comments they'd like to add, just drop it in the comments and let me know, and try and help each other out. Thanks for watching, guys. Cheers.